Act 1, Take 1, Action.
Welcome back to the show. We just came from Disclosure Day, starring Josh O'Connor, Emily Blunt, Colin Firth, and Coleman Domingo. Disclosure Day is about a whistleblower who possesses the information regarding alien bodies, crashed UFOs, remote viewing, and he has like an artifact. So pretty much he is trying to meet up with the other whistleblowers because they're going to blow the lid on this hidden operation that's been running for the last 79 years. And along the way, he meets Emily Blunt. And of course, they're being tracked by the government. All right, Frank, what did you think?
Going right to me. I did. I think that this movie was a mess. A mess. And it could have been good if the story wasn't so convoluted. And because it starts out, you're introduced to Josh O'Connor. He's at this random wrestling match with all of this information, and he's supposed to be handing it back to them in exchange for his girlfriend who they have in captivity.
Jane.
Yeah. He then gives them the bag, or refuses to give them the bag, until he sees Jane. He goes out back. We're introduced to Colin Firth's character. He reunites with Jane, gives them the backpack, but they're really not looking for everything in the backpack. They're looking for that artifact that, like you said. So he has that in his back pocket, and he like wields it and points it at them. And at this point, we don't know what it is. So my first thing was like, they just let him go. And they were saying that the gunshot could have triggered the device, which again, we knew nothing about in the moment. So they just let him go. They couldn't have driven that far because they end up at the monastery. And they have to go through extreme lengths to figure out where they are at that point. So at this moment, I'm like, okay, he has the necessary information. He wants to reveal it to the world. That'll be somewhat of an interesting story to just like follow, the lengths that he's going to have to go to reveal it. And then once you're introduced to Emily Blunt's character, that's when it's like, okay, she's probably like a host for a powerful alien, kind of like in Begonia, and she just has no idea. And so after a while, you see that she has this just universal intelligence. She's just omniscient. And that then started to make me think, okay, since this kind of has some sort of ties with religion, maybe she's the Messiah in some way. Because she goes on to be someone who is able to just look at somebody and know their past. And not just their past, but what they're currently going through with the cop and then the girl at the news channel.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool because I thought, like, okay, they are talking about how God didn't just create humans. Maybe that's going to cover more of it. It was also cool when they revealed that Josh O'Connor was also of a similar, background with a connection to the aliens and having this, all-knowing whatever. His was more mathematical. Hers was like human connection. So I thought that was cool, but then it just kind of loses me when it's like, okay, they're not hosts. They've been like given knowledge by the aliens. So then it's like, okay, they don't want the information to be revealed about the aliens to the public because they won't be able to handle it. These potentially are aliens that they're trying to send home because they're calling them passengers. Then it gets to the end where it's like they have to recall their past and, figure out how they obtain this power. Like, I didn't know what they were trying to tell me. I thought what very could have easily just been like, okay, there's aliens on Earth. They've been living amongst us for decades. And now it is our job to not only reveal to the rest of the world how they're being treated, but also get them home. That's what I thought the direction was going to be. And so I just thought that the path that they took to get to that was just so confusing. Wyatt Russell, my friend, I think you were just invited on because, Steven might know your father pretty well. You did not need to be there. The action sequences I thought were so awkward. Like, why is this man, like, they're there to kill him at that safe house. They absolutely are. Colin Firth literally is wielding a knife through Jane, wants to kill him. Nobody's trying to kill him. They're trying to reach through a moving vehicle to pull him out the window. That's not ideal. Let's just shoot him in the face. They don't do that. Like, these highly trained individuals just completely miss the fact that he's hiding behind a fence that is perfectly see-through. He gets into a car and drives off, and they just don't even think for a second, maybe we should shoot at it. Like, he has so much time to get through. And, you know, people say suspend disbelief, but it's like, no, like, these sequences need to be believable to an extent. It's not like you can just confuse us with how urgent everything really is. So that's where I was like, okay, like, I don't feel like any of these people are like urgently trying to stop this man. Then Jane snaps out of it, and they're driving away, and they reach like this quarry and they put a rock on the fucking accelerator. The car goes into the water, and I'm like, okay, that was smart. Make them think that they're dead. Then they're just like hiding behind rocks that are right there. There's a swarm of people in front of them just looking over a cliff, and then they just turn around and like tiptoe away. It's like, am I just supposed to believe that they hiked miles after that and weren't seen? I was a little lost on how Hugo knew so much about Margaret's early life.
Mm-hmm.
It made perfect sense that he knew a lot about Daniel's. What else? Oh, the reveal that Daniel was like Margaret could have been better. I don't know. It's just like getting to the end, it was just very convoluted in my opinion. The ending, when they're revealing all the stuff, the archived footage, that was where I like really had a big problem with it. They are just waltzing into this newsroom. The last time this woman was here, she literally was speaking in tongues and then passed out.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, come on in. You can take over the broadcast for the evening. We'll all agree to this. Like, it's nothing. And sure enough, and then Josh O'Connor goes into the control room with this mysterious book bag. No one's ever seen him before. And they're like, do everything he says. There would be far more chaos there. But there just wasn't really, and this is going to sound stupid, there wasn't really enough realism. Like, there would have been so much more chaos with just people like trying to reveal all this information. They really were just showing everybody just looking at their phones and everything. I don't think it would be so easy to just waltz into a local news station and be like, hey, I have all of the archived footage from the government about extraterrestrials. That, like, they needed a little bit more there for me. I can't just fully suspend disbelief and be like, yeah, sure, they can just walk in. Like, no. The cop being in the waiting room, he was there for a week. Yeah. He was waiting so long to be like, yeah, you were right about my wife. Ugh. But yeah, that was enough ranting from me. I'll go back to you. We can come back to me in a second.
So the movie ends, and the very first thing you said was, "This is horrendous." Do you still think it was horrendous? Because you were fuming on the way here.
I just, like, if a movie's gonna make me think, I want it to be like good critical thinking. Like, that was just like, okay, we're jumping from one thing to another. Like, what started out as just like a whistleblower on the run with like with a group that's rebelling against their former company. I thought that that's what it was going to be. It's like, okay, he's just like out here with all this info. Mm-hmm. Then it's more Emily Blunt is like the host for like a more powerful alien who's somehow omniscient. Maybe that'll tie it into religion. But then it just really didn't. Somehow Hansel and Gretel found their way in there. The animal thing kind of was cool, because like that's how they would be among people going unnoticed. But yeah, you're right. I have gone off on an insane tangent. Continue.
Okay, so this was my number 3 most anticipated movie of 2026, and I was very disappointed. This movie was for me because I know everything about UFO.
You are practically not of this earth. Yes.
Remote viewing lore. I know all of that stuff. You don't know any of it.
No.
I everything in this movie, like all the concepts that they introduced, I was picking up on.
Yeah.
Because I listen to this stuff every day. Like, I know exactly what this is. And so is Steven Spielberg. Mm-hmm. He's obsessed with this stuff.
Right.
But he just tried to wrap it all inside of a narrative, and it just didn't work. So I enjoyed the majority of the movie. I did not like the antagonist. I thought he was just like,
I didn't even know what he was like. What was he really?
Yeah.
He didn't seem like he was even. His right-hand man was more passionate about keeping this shit secret than he was.
Yeah.
And he was in charge.
Yeah.
Every time he folded, he was like, nah, let them go. The second time it was like, don't let them off the facility. And then they all let them off the facility, literally just let them drive away. And then the right-hand man goes after them and tries to push them into a friggin' moving train. They just let him go, I'm assuming. It's like, yeah, you go figure it out. Like it was weird. And you know what is good, or what should have been better? The scene where he dives onto Hugo. That could have really helped. Like, why is this guy so indecisive about what he's doing? Maybe they could have revealed that he has a traumatic past because they showed his wife. And I don't know. It was just so confusing to me how this guy seemed like he was so about what he was going to do. He seemed like he was so cold-blooded. Like, here's his girlfriend tied up with marks on her face. They were clearly like getting information out of her. But he's also like this nice guy that will, in the end, just accept defeat and pop a squat and watch the news report front row.
Yeah. So
Yeah, my bad. I keep literally
the like first half of the movie I thought was really good. I was getting excited. Like I got chills multiple times throughout the movie because I knew what they were talking about. Like I looked over to you. This is when Daniel, who's played by Josh O'Connor, is showing his girlfriend Jane black and white footage of President Nixon showing Jackie Gleason alien bodies, and it's like a big story or like rumor that happened. Like all that stuff was so cool, and like I got so excited. I knew most of the like footage they were showing us, or like I've heard stuff about it, and like the animals were cool. I've heard of like owls showing up, and never like deer or cardinals, but I don't know. Him diving into people is like to me it seems like a nod at remote viewing, where like these agents would just like use telepathy and like project their minds into places. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, the antagonist, I didn't like him. He just seemed generic, like a bad guy, like a just a government bad guy. His henchman was annoying, like his right hand man. Most of the scenes he was in like his headquarters, and like they didn't really leave. He's doing this freaking this remote viewing inside of the headquarters in a room outside of like the main operation room, which I thought was like, I mean, that just comes down to like bad set design, I guess, but I feel like he wouldn't be doing that there. And the scene with the house, and like the whole house turns invisible and they all turn invisible.
That kind of made sense because
that was goofy.
Well, it was goofy, but at least they kind of foreshadowed that when the henchmen in the headquarters picked it up and he disappeared. But then it's also like, how was he able to do that?
But who's he? This is my problem. That device that they had can do anything.
Right.
It was like it was a literal plot device.
Yeah.
So that was a big problem. But the finale I thought was fantastic. I loved it. Except I do have my problems with it. Like they shut off the power. Like I knew that was gonna happen, but I thought maybe they'd be in the middle of disclosing all the information, and then they shut the power off. But they shut off the main power, and they shut off the backup generator, and then she uses that device to like bring power back to
we have not seen it do that until that moment.
I didn't like that, but I loved the news broadcast. Like they're just showing all the information. She's talking to the camera. It just basically reveals like what the government's doing. The alien coming out was cool. He didn't need to be there unless they like brought him out in the very beginning.
And why not reveal what the alien said?
Yeah. Okay. So
what is there going to be a disclosure day too?
I was wondering if we left too early, because I don't know.
There is zero chance.
Not like a post credit scene, but maybe like, because she ends the very last word of the movie is listen, and then it just cuts to black. But I'm wondering if like they play something during the credits, because we didn't stay for the credits.
When she's in the hospital, she just randomly says, "Daniel and I forget his last name, but she just randomly says it.
Mhm.
Like she's looking at two Word X agents who are just talking to a doctor, and she just somehow like dives and sees him. Like that didn't.
I don't know. I bought that
I didn't.
because I knew they were connected. Like,
Right, but up until that point, it was just anyone that she was looking at.
mhm.
So like, there wasn't a strong enough depiction of just like, whoa, this is a different thing. I thought before for like 2 seconds before I was like, wait a minute, Daniel's Josh O'Connor's name. I thought that that was one of the agents across the glass,
Yeah.
and she was like, that's not an FBI agent or whatever.
Act 2, take 1, action.
What else was just ridiculous? Oh my god, this made me laugh out loud. I was in tears. Like actually, the fucking fire truck thing. That was so funny.
That was funny.
That was unbelievably hilarious. I thought that these were undercover Word X people
Yeah.
that were once again kidnapping them just to release them later on.
They pull up and
They
they
pull
just
up-
start gripping them up. Like,
Yeah.
you think they're about to get messed up.
They say nothing to them.
And then freaking, what's his name? Santino?
It's like like
or
Sergio
something.
or something like that.
Yeah, he hops out the car, big ass smile on his
Yeah.
face. He's
They're frightened.
Josh O'Connor's like, oh, I know this.
He's like,
guy."
oh, I know this guy. I know this guy. Like they said nothing to them.
Yeah,
They just
he-
waltzed right
he
up to
should
them
have
and
been the
grabbed
first
them.
person out of the truck.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
it was so insane.
Oh, and then when what's the company called? WordX.
Yeah,
When WordX shows up to the news station, they bust in. They got like their arms drawn, and
no one's afraid.
freaking what's the guy's name? Kurd. I don't know, the antagonist. He just sits
Colin
down.
Firth. Yeah, it's
and
something that
gives
started
up.
with an H. Yeah,
He just gives up.
that's what I mean. Like he folded like a chair
And
three
then-
different times.
And then the entire army walks out of the building.
yeah, and
That
he's
I
just,
thought was crazy.
he's just sitting there.
And like, I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm trying to rationalize it because they're not the military. They're
He's like, I'll be out in a minute. I want to see this.
So like, they're a private military, but I don't know. And he is in charge, so like he just gives up.
They're like an incredibly top secret agency within the government that the Department of Defense knows about, but like other people have no clue. It's not like, CIA, FBI, like obviously they do shady shit, but we at least know what the CIA and FBI are. The Word X was like nobody knew who that was. So
And
it was
then-
like
Another goofy thing is when they let them out of the base.
uh-huh.
Like I thought that was cool because Emily Blunt has like empathy powers, and she can read people's minds, look into their past, and look into their current life situation, and she just walks onto the base. I bought that because she's just like reading the guards,
Right.
and she knows the password, the daily password to get in. I don't know, because it does kind of make sense that she reads all the people trying to stop her from getting out. But it's like there's like 30 people there.
Yeah. And not to mention, like, you can't just waltz up in a civilian car and be like, hey, I'm meeting somebody, and then step out with your Nikes and
Yeah.
jeans on, and like nobody bats an eye. It's like,
I don't know. She had the daily code.
well, I mean, yeah, that's obvious. And then, like, because I mean, if you look at a cop that pulls you over and you tell them exactly their life story without ever even asking for their name, that would have him in shock. No,
Mhm.
no shit, he let her go. But like that agency, knowing what they know, I don't know. It was just so bizarre. The train
Yeah.
was hilarious. You disagree with me.
Yeah, I do.
So
disagree.
okay. So like they did the thing that was really hard. And then the other thing that's also difficult because they're on a moving vehicle that's under a train. That next part was the easy part. And it took forever for them to get to that ladder. That other train was in another area code when we first saw it.
Yeah, they definitely had enough time to do that. See, I was thinking that Emily Blunt's character is just too scared. She's like freaking out because we see her once they get inside the train, she's freaking out.
Right.
So I just don't think she wants to jump out of the thing.
That's true.
And like they keep showing the car. It's stuck underneath the train and it's like bouncing up and down. And I feel like it would be a lot harder to get your footing and like you don't know if the car's gonna shoot out from underneath the train or something. I think that's believable for like real life, I guess.
If we can't agree on that, we can agree on this. When you're getting shot at and you're trying to get to a ladder, you don't look at the person who shot at you.
I don't even think they would know they were getting shot at, to be honest.
That dude is one heck of a shot for him to nail a moving target like that. But that is an actual thing where you suspend disbelief. That I can agree on. But like they stopped dead in their tracks and looked across the street at this guy. And I'm like, maybe keep going so he doesn't shoot you. Oh my gosh. Okay, so in the warehouse, I was texting my friend about this the moment we left, and he was like, dude, you're wrong. When they walk in, they don't right away acknowledge that they can still see a light. Do you agree with that?
I don't think they did.
Exactly. It took a little bit too.
I don't even think I saw it.
It took too much time for them to be like, there's a light there. Us, the viewers, we saw it immediately when they walked inside.
I didn't see the light.
It was purple.
I mean, I did see it eventually when they pointed it out, but
when they first
walked in, I did not see it.
When they first walk in, it is right there, and it takes them a good 2 minutes for Colin Firth to be like, wait, the light, follow it. And it's like it was there the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention, you guys are aware of this technology, or at least I think you are. You've been doing research on it for 79 years. Surely you should know that it can do this too at this point.
I don't think they would have known that. I think they recognized the shape of it, but I don't think they... Well, no, because he turns invisible right before...
Right, but they're perplexed by that when it happens. All of them in the room are like, what just happened?
Because they never saw her before, so I don't... Maybe they just didn't know like the actual abilities of it or something.
Maybe. I don't know.
But I thought that scene when they pull up and the house is invisible, I thought that was goofy. But before that, I was buying it because they're inside this recreation of her childhood home, and Hugo, who was like, I would say he's the right hand man to the antagonist. Before he gets removed.
Yeah. Well,
before he leaves, because he's a whistleblower as well. But yeah, he sets up this whole fake house so that she can, what do you call it? It's like hypnosis, where you regress back into your memories, and
she was essentially diving the same way Colin Firth was diving into other people's heads, but she went into her own past, and she also needed Josh O'Connor's hand on it to like help.
Yeah, and when they do that, we find out that they are both abductees. They're abducted by the gray aliens, and they get like these downloads. They're imbued with these powers. That's another UFO lore thing, the downloads. But yeah, so he has the ability to just understand math, and she gets her empathy powers and like mind reading, I guess.
Did you notice how Colin Firth was like getting weaker over time because he was using the technology, and then just at the end he's fine?
Yeah. Because I noticed it the first time he dives and he's talking to Jane.
Yeah.
You could see the bags under his eyes. He's sweating.
Yeah.
And then like nothing really happens with it.
Exactly. And every single time,
every few times.
Yeah. Whenever he's like on the brink of collapse and they're like, quick, help him, he's like, get off of me. He's acting outraged, as if they would even like think for a second that he needs help. It's like, what do you mean, dude? You're literally about to pass out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. I just before I mean, we've talked enough about how much we don't like it. I liked the concept of the diving. I liked the idea in the end a little bit that they were people chosen to like, possess the knowledge necessary for the future to reveal to the human race that they're not alone. But it just like there really wasn't, a lot of stuff throughout the progression that made me think like, oh, that's what they're trying to do. It was like, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that, now they're doing this, now they're doing that. What the heck are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
And I just like, I truly cannot get behind, and I know people will say suspend disbelief, I cannot get behind the idea of this woman practically going through an experience that would ruin anybody else's career in working in a
Oh
newsroom.
yeah. So I wanted to
And then
talk to you about that.
she can just waltz back in.
I think it's her powers
No, well,
because she talks to the director or like the guy that's in charge of broadcasting, and she says something to him, like she whispers something to him, and I don't think we hear it. So that
no,
makes me
she
think,
talks about his son.
yes, his son.
Right. But before that, she just waltzes right in when they're
Oh, I
about
think
to like literally go through,
like
you know.
walking in the front door or just
Yeah.
showing back up on set.
I'm not saying that they were going to be like, no, get out of here, leave. But like going through something like that, they'd be like, what? Like, we can't just let you come back in here and be like a head anchor for 5 seconds because you want to. And then the lady next, the one guy is the only one who's like smart about it. And he's like, you want me to just not do my job because
Yeah.
she walked in here? And then the girl next to him is like, come on, you heard them, get up. It's like, why are you okay with
Yeah,
this?
well, see,
This is your job too. And you're just like, nah, get out of here. You're not going to be on TV tonight. We're going to have this lady that you saw literally just go into cardiac arrest.
yeah, I think it's just the head of broadcasting just being like, I think they really listened to him, and he's like, get up, she's on, and then she did something to his mind.
But okay, so you could be right about that, but she never sets foot in the control room.
No,
Yeah.
but he does.
He does with Josh O'Connor,
Yes.
but they could have very easily been like, what are you talking about? Who is this? Why are we saying yes to everything that he wants to do? Like, there was not the least bit of questioning. They usually do everything he says.
Yeah, I do think it's a little weird, but
He had the most bizarre, to them at least, probably the most bizarre set of USB drives
Yeah,
that he's just downloading
never seen
into every single computer. And they're like, we're just supposed to be sitting here watching him do this. This could be a virus of some kind. This could be a terrorist attack. We're just sitting here complacent or complicit. I think it's
Yeah.
complicit. Yeah, I'm not smart, but it was just so funny in the end how they just waltzed in, and like, oh my god,
I didn't mind it that much. I believe that.
it was weird for me. You know what? And this was like one of the people that impressed me the most with their acting, the friggin' CNN anchor, who has to like act like somebody who is
yeah.
finding out about all of this while everybody else is. She did great.
Yeah, she was really
impressed me
good.
more than the people that were probably paid way more than she was.
Okay, so did you like the acting? Did you like the performances from Josh O'Connor and Emily Blunt?
I thought Emily Blunt was the best.
Yeah, for sure.
The way that she portrayed somebody who is just like cannot explain any of this.
Got her powers and
Right.
can't explain.
She is just on a steady climb of becoming like psychotic. She's
Yeah.
like, I don't know what's happening. I'm freaking out. It's funny when she's in the car because she's kind of like, freaking out and all this, and then she looks at Josh O'Connor and it's just like, oh wow, you were in jail? That's crazy. Like, just because she looked at him for a second. Like,
Mhm.
that was really funny. She did really well with that.
I thought the phone, when she tried to destroy her phone,
That was funny.
pretty funny.
And him missing it like twice.
Yeah, dude, I was blown away on once they get inside the train. I think she was really good in there.
Yeah. Well, because
She's having that panic attack.
she perfectly simulated a panic
Dude.
attack, in my opinion.
I was blown away. I thought she was so good in that scene. And I thought Josh O'Connor did really good too. Because he's like trying to calm her down. It felt real to me.
He was, I don't know.
I thought he was okay in the movie, but Emily Blunt definitely had the best performance.
She was so much better. Coleman Domingo just said a ton of friggin' word salads that I
Yeah.
wasn't really following.
Yeah, I don't know why he was being so cryptic throughout the movie.
Right. Did you notice in the beginning of the movie, that's when they find out that he like just didn't show up to work?
Yeah.
So like,
They're like
are we supposed to believe that he just began that operation that day with all
No,
those 12
no.
people?
I think he was planning it, and then he had his
Executed the
plan.
plan that day.
Yes.
Okay. Because that's a whole warehouse of people building a damn house.
No, I think this was all because he said you lied to me for 5 years.
Yeah.
The alien escapes, and that was all him. That was Hugo's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he just quit because we needed to get Daniel out of there. We need to get him here, and I don't know how. This too. This doesn't make any sense. How did he know about Emily Blunt's character? He's building her house from the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And she doesn't get her powers until 2 days before they're gonna disclose to everybody.
Right.
How like
they watched the broadcast and they were like, actually, I honestly do kind of forget that.
because the first time we see Hugo, he's like on a. I thought it was a movie set
Yeah.
that they were gonna disclose everything, but it turns out to be her house.
Yeah.
The very first time we see him.
Mm-hmm. And then when she has her breakdown on live TV
Is the second time we see
Yeah.
him.
Did you notice how when Josh O'Connor's watching the video, he's like, yeah, it's in English. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Coleman Domingo, for a second, looks perplexed. He's like, how can you understand that? But then why'd you look perplexed if this entire time you knew that he was one of the ones who were like,
Yeah.
what is it, experienced?
Yeah, I don't know
Or
why they
something
call
like
them
that.
experiencers. They should just call them abductees.
But they weren't necessarily abducted.
No, they were definitely abducted.
I thought that they just like,
They were on the ship.
I thought that they were just like it was like a hallucination for them, but they were still on Earth.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't know. It was so many misses for me. So many misses.
Well, talk about the hits, because we haven't talked about anything that we really liked. I have. I feel like you haven't.
I liked the way the CNN anchor was acting. I liked the performance from Emily Blunt. It's a short list for me, dude. Like, I even think, and this is crazy to say because I'm some random ass dude reviewing movies on YouTube, I thought the shot selection was terrible, and that's a Spielberg movie.
It felt like an old movie. It felt like World of Worlds.
No, it felt like it didn't feel like somebody who's been an iconic director in the industry for half a century directed it.
What I'm saying is,
I feel like they mailed it in
like
some cases.
Some of the like the amount of light on screen felt like an early 2000s movie, and some of there was like film grain in some of the shots that felt like an early 2000s movie.
Yeah.
But the action sequences felt like
so bizarre. Like,
there
didn't
like
feel like
for me.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a sense of. It feels like all the budget for the action sequences went into the random dude doing parkour at the end to find the generator.
Yeah, he was doing parkour.
Like,
dude.
he
was
looked like
hard.
He looked like an acrobat. It's like, who is this guy?
Oh,
he went flying over the fence,
dude.
It's like, this is my moment. This is my Spielberg movie. I'm going to show everybody how athletic I am.
The CGI was not that good.
The CGI was horrible.
It was not.
That
like
fox,
the animals.
That fox looked like something out of a PS2
when they're
game.
showing some of the footage, the UFO or alien footage, like black and white. The aliens looked weird. The ones walking were funny. I like those.
The three aliens walking. That's like you, me, and Braden coming back from Oxford Street high as shit. Like, that was. That was so funny seeing them just show up from the smoke, and it's just these three little dudes just walking with them. That I was cracking up with that.
They're doing like a weird strut, folks. It's like I don't know. Their feet are going forwards.
It's like
while
they were
their body stays still.
Yeah, they were boys. Like, they were going to the bar with these guys. Like, they had made friends. Like, it was so weird.
Act 3, take 1, action.
Oh my god, one thing, dude, the entire time in the background, the world was like in panic because World War III was starting. Nobody seemed like they were pissed, like scared about that. Not like that didn't seem like there was any kind of discourse about that. It was just a random thing in the background in the beginning when it was like, we have had more tension than what we did back in the Cuban Missile Crisis. Then they kind of stop it, and then when they're in that gas station, it looks like people are like raiding it.
Yeah, yep.
And then they're just like, and then that's it.
When they show up to the news station again, that CNN lady is reporting on that.
Yeah. And they're like, you
And the
really
Kore-
think?
the Korean leader is in there.
Yeah.
And she's like translating because she knows how to speak Korean.
Did you
all of a
notice?
sudden.
Did you see me laugh at that?
Yeah,
Dude, okay, so did you notice how they had a Korean translator and he couldn't translate properly?
yeah.
And he was like, sorry, the words were just so close together. She's like, that's okay. I was like, oh my God, he would be. Imagine a white woman who just does not, by the looks of her, know any Korean and just speaks fluently and just makes you look like an idiot at your job and
Did you
you're
think-
actually look like a Korean man. That would be crazy. Yeah, it was like, that was a really weird background detail that they did not really.
Yeah, I think the point of that is to be like everything halts once all this happens.
Fair.
And
Very
I
fair.
think you understand that,
That's fair.
but it was not a looming enough threat.
Right.
Like it wasn't big enough.
Yeah.
Because,
it was
because
obvious.
if you miss that in the beginning,
Mhm.
like you really have to pay attention to catch it, I feel
Yeah.
like.
It's really not.
They're like,
brought up
why are
like
these
that.
guys looting this gas station?
Yeah.
I think it's easy to miss. And then
And
you see like the Russian soldiers and the Korean soldiers, they're all on their phones once all the videos are dropping.
yeah.
So like,
You also mean to tell me that when somebody's running into a gas station to like quickly grab a bunch of shit in a panic, there's just a child in the back seat of a car unattended, like
Right.
all smiles and not looking scared.
yeah.
And Emily Blunt walks up to her like, "Hey, can you help me with something?" And she's like, "Hey, mister, she said I love you and she's going north." It's like, or east. It's like, dude, your dad is in there like stealing everything of toilet paper because he's terrified of the world ending, and you're just sitting in the back on your iPad
The
as
one guy-
happy as a clam.
One guy's stocking the shelf, and then they're taking them off just as quick as you can put them back on.
Yeah, and he's
Like
like,
the
"What's the
manager.
address for this place?" And the clerk, who's just
Yeah.
somehow zen, is like, "Oh, it's 38 whatever street."
I'm like, dude, get out of my face.
Yeah, it's like, do you not see what's happening? My store is being flipped upside down. I don't give a shit about where we are.
All right, but yeah, I just think this movie is for somebody who can like pick out all the lore and stuff like me, and he just wrapped it into a story, but like he didn't connect them, or he tried his best to connect them.
Because I was gonna say, like, you seemed like you liked it enough to not be disappointed, but then you're revealing that you were, because you
Yeah, because
wanted to save that.
like I don't know, it just felt like all the cool alien stuff that I like with generic government stuff
Right.
and like action sequences.
The
But
military.
the parts I really liked, I loved.
Yeah. The random scene with the military in the conference room, like lecturing them for losing the information, like we're just never introduced to the military again and how
Mhm.
invested they really are. That could have been good to keep bringing those people back, because then it would reveal that Colin Firth isn't really the main antagonist. He isn't really doing all of this because he wants to. He's being forced to do all of this. That really wasn't touched on that much. It was kind of in the beginning when he was like, "No, I can't pick up the phone. They'll think I'm concerned." It's like, okay, well, do a little bit more of this so I don't think that you're just some random dude that's going to fold every time. And that's what he did. It's like,
Yeah, he just gives up.
make it more obvious that you are under a microscope from the military and being forced to do these things. And that's why you keep being like, okay, I just saw my wife. Now I don't care anymore. Or now I want to sit down and see how this goes because I'm more on her side. Like, they didn't really do that, and it was just bizarre. It was very strange to see that the main guy is getting lectured by his right hand man half the time. Like, what are you doing?
Hmm.
Like, do you even care? So that was just bizarre. But since
I
we're
do
here-
think Hugo telling him like I believed in you and I supported you, but as soon as your wife died, you stopped caring about everything.
yeah,
So I think maybe some of that got to him, and him seeing his wife, he saw Emily Blunt's character as his wife.
but at that
'Cause he
point that
cried
had
at
already
that
happened.
point.
At that point, that had already happened.
He spoke to Hugo.
No, he had already seen his wife,
Yes.
and then he dives on Hugo.
Yes.
So even after he sees his wife and sees everybody else back off of her and let her leave, he's like, okay, now I'm invested again. I actually do want to stop
Well,
her.
That's what I'm saying though. I think there's like he was trying to Spielberg was trying to set up character development for that character, but like he just doesn't. He just wraps it up.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is that they made it seem like he was kind of just acting on his own. I didn't see him communicating with any higher ups. I'm
Mhm.
talking about Colin Firth.
Right.
Like, I don't know. There didn't seem to be a dilemma with him. It seemed like he was the cold-blooded asshole that didn't care about having to kill some people and getting his hands dirty. And then as the movie progressed, it's like he really isn't that guy. But you can't just have that change happen without any stimulus that's gonna fucking change him.
Yeah, because he could have easily stopped Disclosure. He could have just killed everybody in that studio.
Yeah. Not to mention, we saw that device after that the right hand guy disappears. We saw that shit hit the ground, and nobody was afraid of what was going to happen if it hit the ground.
Mhm.
What the hell is stopping anybody from shooting Josh O'Connor right in the fucking face when he's about to pull the thing on them?
Yeah.
It's like if the problem is the grip, if he gets shot in the face, he's letting go of that thing and it's hitting the ground and nothing's gripping it at all. But they're like, nah, don't shoot him. And then like, I don't know.
See, that's why I think they weren't killing him on the farm.
But there was no indication that he had it in his possession.
I know, but they don't know that. They don't know he has it. They know that it is on it with him somewhere, but they didn't know if he had it or not.
Yeah, but it was just so. It didn't.
But I mean, I
It
understand
wasn't-
what you're saying.
They didn't show that it was that unstable of a device.
Yes.
They really didn't show that. They showed that it was valuable, obviously, because it's this really like it has a
Mhm.
lot of power. But there wasn't about it that made it seem like, oh, it's extremely fragile, and if you drop it, everyone will die.
Yeah.
They did not show us that. They didn't like make me feel like that was going to happen.
Yeah, they didn't, because this thing does everything, dude.
Yeah.
It let them go back into their memories. It can repower the news station. It can turn you invisible. It can turn anything invisible.
You can take over the consciousness of somebody
Yeah.
else, and with that, be in the room with them to
Yeah.
talk with them.
It's like an actual plot device.
Yeah. One thing that I also thought was kind of cool, but I don't even think that now that I've watched the whole thing, I'm not even sure that this is what they were going for. Like, she clutches her cross,
Mm-hmm.
and that gives her the ability to resist the power of the thing.
I think it was the pain.
Okay. Because I was like, okay, now religion is being tied into this a little bit more than I thought it would be.
Mhm.
That could have made the movie really good, dude. Maybe they were just too afraid about pissing people off. But like if the movie was like she is essentially seen as the second coming who is not only going to reveal to the world that there's other aliens out there, that there is aliens out there, but she is going to be the person that like brings everyone together with the idea so that there isn't chaos, so that there isn't people losing their shit. But they didn't really dive into that.
Yeah.
And they had the nun literally say to what's her name? It's like,
yeah, that was an important
yeah,
phone call.
I mean, I thought it was going to be, but that really not much progressed from there.
Yeah, that should have been the whole dilemma throughout the movie. Like, is this the right thing to do? Because it would definitely change the world.
Yeah,
And like, you can have your antagonist
but then it
continue to try to stop you, but they were trying to make it deep by like, I don't know, they're trying to make you think and like giving you hints about like why she's important and why Josh O'Connor's important.
I don't know. It really missed for me on so many levels, and it didn't even seem like the direction was that good. Like the camera work really wasn't that impressive. The CGI, like we've already said, really bad.
Oh, dude, the music, some of the music, I
Yeah.
hated. It sounded like Hallmark generic.
It sounded like they just copied and pasted the ET shit.
Like I don't know how to describe it. It almost feels Disney. Like when somebody's curious, they play a certain instrument, and
Yeah.
it's like I hate when they do that in movies because I just don't take it seriously. Then
Wyatt Russell, like I really don't know why he was there.
just to be a hater.
Yeah, truly. Like she could have. I think it would have been cooler to see her navigating all of this by herself instead of just having this annoying person in her face who like
Mhm.
she's just gonna abandon anyway, and then we're never gonna see him again until the end when he's in their apartment still. It's like, yeah, my girlfriend just completely drove off without me, but I'll go home. I would have to go to my parents' house and be like, you're not gonna believe what just happened, and I would stay there for like 3 days.
I'm gonna give it a rating now. It was a notch experience. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 because the parts I really enjoyed, I loved, like the video sequence at the end, all of the alien lore tied in there, but the parts I did not like were just super important to the movie. Um, the music I didn't like. I would see it again just to to pay attention to the video clips at the end and see what else I can catch. But yeah, go check it out.
2 out of 5. Not pristine in the slightest. If you're supposed to be a serious film and I'm laughing several times throughout the movie, we're not doing good. Hits, short list, acting from Emily Blunt, acting from that CNN anchor. Yeah, I mean, Josh O'Connor was okay. The Jane girl was better. Coleman Domingo, I guess he was all right. Yeah, just an insane list of misses. Poor shot selection, not compelling action sequences, convoluted like path to the end from A to B, and just an insanely drawn out ending. I feel like we were in that damn newsroom for 30 minutes before we even saw one fucking clip of anything. It was just very disappointing, and for the sake of the pod, not a here's a hit. For the sake of the pod, finally we find a movie where we're actually like, yeah, this was not the best. We need to tell the people that this is really bad, because I got to be honest with you, I listened back to some of the things that we say, we're giving these movies ratings like they're the greatest movies of all time and we love them. So thank God, a nice little change of pace here. But other than that, that was like the only good purpose that it served. It just I would never watch that movie again. I'm being completely honest. I'm never watching that again.
That is crazy.
I'm never watching that movie again. I will not watch that movie again. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to Post Production. If you were really looking forward to this film, I'm sorry. But this is Frankie and Airren.
If you were really looking forward to this film, you should go check it out.
And good luck. It's gonna be a nice little $17 down the drain if you don't get snacks. All right. We'll see you guys next time with another episode of Post Production in the future.
Yes. Goodbye.
Farewell.
And cut.